Hello students, in this video we shall discuss about sexual reproduction in flowering plants from the lesson How do organisms reproduce. Flower is a reproductive part of a plant. The stamen and the pistil are the essential reproductive parts of the flower. Stamen is the male reproductive part. It produces pollen grains in the anther, which contains the male germ cell or the male gamete. Pistil is the female reproductive part. It produces ovules in the ovary, which contains the female germ cell or female gamete. The next is, after the production of the pollen grains are made to transfer from the anther to the stigma of a flower. This is called pollination. It takes place by wind, water, or by insects. If the pollen grains are transferred from the anther to the stigma of the same flower, it is called self-pollination. And it is transferred from the anther of one flower to the stigma of another flower, it is called cross-pollination. Pollination takes place by wind, insect, water, and so on. The next is the fertilization. After the pollen grain is transferred to the stigma, it produces a pollen tube which passes through the style and enters the ovary and ovule. In the ovule, the male germ cell, that is the male gamete, fuses with the female germ cell, that is the female gamete, to form a zygote. This process is called fertilization. As the pollen tube grows, the generative nucleus divides by mitosis to form two haploid male gametes. Out of the two male gametes, one unites with the egg cell to form a diploid zygote, that is 2N. This is called syngamy or first fertilization. The next is the triple fusion or second fertilization. The second male gamete unites with the secondary nucleus, that is 2N, to form a triploid 3N primary endosperm nucleus. We call it as PEN. Syngamy and triple fusion together represent double fertilization, which is a characteristic feature seen in angiosperms. After fertilization, the zygote divides several times and forms the embryo, which then develops into the seed, and the ovary develops into the fruit. Zygote divides several times to form an embryo within the ovule. Embryo gradually develops within the ovule. The ovule develops a tough coat and is gradually converted into seed. The ovary grows rapidly and ripens into a fruit. Meanwhile, the sepals, petals, stamen, style, and stigma may shrivel and fall out. The seed contains the future plant or embryo, which develops into a seedling under appropriate condition. This process is known as germination. I hope you have understood the concept of sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Children, see you in the next video. Thank you.